Good morning, everyone. Good afternoon, wherever you are.
Morning.
All right, so here's what I'm looking at this morning. The economic calendar, existing home sales in 40 minutes, which seems a little bit odd. Let's reload that because that would make it, there you go, 31 minutes. So that's at 10 a.m. 5 things to know, basically the same thing. Futures are rising, chip stocks are extending rally. Trump is saying again that Iran deal could be coming in days. OpenAI, this I found interesting. They're saying they're not in a hurry to IPO. So we assume that that's coming sometime this year, but as far as this is concerned, it's not happening anytime soon. And as far as earnings, I haven't been looking at them because most of them, most of the major earnings have reported. But we are still waiting on NVDA. It is one of the latecomers for the second quarter. This again. There we go. So the market is opening up in a few seconds. I think there might be some newcomers in here. I do not trade, usually do not trade. I'm never say never, but I usually don't trade in the first half hour. So the market is open. Good luck to whoever trades the open. Let's look at MNQ and MES are definitely at important levels. So this is yesterday's high. This is what I want to see. And this is probably where I could take an earlier position because we are climbing. We are at a level of resistance. This was resistance yesterday. I would not be surprised to see this breached. And I would like to see the opportunity, hopefully it's not too quickly, to take a break and retest for the higher highs. However, it could reverse here. And if it gave me an opportunity to reverse, it would have to be a kangaroo tail reversal or a slower moving double top. This would be a hard thing to take right now because it is very close to the open. We're not seeing these massive moves though, so that's a good thing right now. MES, basically the same story or very similar. We're not quite there yet. We're not at the at yesterday's highs, but I do have an alert up at the top here. Other than that, this is something that I was looking at last night, but it ended up happening. Bless you. It ended up happening after I'd gone to bed. So this was a perfect setup for a long. I like having room to the left. Right? We talk about this a lot, but people are going to say, well, there's no room to the left here, but there was room to the left when the move started. And that's what I look for. Right? So we found support. This was a really nice double bottom, actually. Found support and then started making new highs. What I wanted to see was a large impulse move, which happened right here. This printed here. Let's get rid of these. So this printed a big, large fair value gap, and then we broke out of what could have been resistance. So this is where I set up fibs from the start, the most recent impulse, and I'm talking about last night here. And this is where I set the level, and then if you extend it right, it went very close to the level, and I will take a trade if it doesn't touch. I do have, from backtesting, I have for different tools, different tickers, the amount that I will take it above. But had I gone in right here, and I do not wait for a confirmation on certain setups, this would have been an entry on the wick, and 3R I think was right around here. But this happened at 11:30 at night, and I was not around my computer. So we just figured I'd share that because the graphic was on the screen. There we go. Questions, comments, please don't hesitate. I am looking at the reaction up here. I do not trust the pullback over here. We are making higher lows. I would not be surprised to see this breach them. Again, not a prediction. I just want to see what happens. Right now, we're pulling back. What I mean is that I would not consider this personally. I wouldn't take this as a short unless you got in right at the top and you can get to your profit right away already. Right? So if this is your profit taking, this is a really nice move. So let's see what happens. I don't know if you guys were looking at anything else. I heard you guys discussing. Please don't stop because I'm on. I was just in and out though. I didn't have time to sit down and pay attention to what you guys were looking at. MCL and 2K are interesting. Let's look at MCL. MCL is making new bottoms. I was looking left for support this morning. This looked like a support area, so I put this level on, but we are now proving that we can go lower. So this would possibly be resistance if it came back to this level now, right? So this might be a breakdown from the level and then a retest of this level for the further move down. Possible. We do have a gap to fill over here. That was likely on news from Friday to Sunday last week. I think I might have taken this. I think this was, right, we had opened here and then gapped to over here and came into the 50, into the golden zone, and then took off. So I don't remember. I'd have to look at my my notes. But it's definitely at a level of interest. Don't know if it's a buy or sell, and this could just take off on news either way. And what was the other one? M2K. M2K is making new highs. This you would have assumed could have been a level of resistance. We just blew past it. Let's get back to the 5. I don't know why I'm on the 1 minute. And zoom into here. So with a big move like this, I would put my fibs at where the big impulse move started, and which was over here, and then stop it at where it reversed. But I do not like trading the first candle like this. But this was a nice big impulse move up. I would not be surprised to see it come back and retest the 50 zone. MYM, is that an interesting area? I think that was out. We could put a level right over here. Alt H, this was resistance. Is it resistance again? Well, certainly looks like it was right at the open, right? Again on the 1 minute. Stay on the 5. Right, so this was a massive wick over here. I'll show you a wick on MCL as well. I was looking at the price action over here this morning. It's like, how can somebody be long in this right? Let's say you're long in this, you have a stop right under this wick over here, and then you see, you've got some bullish candles over here, and you go long, you put your stop right underneath here. Well, what happens? This candle comes in and takes out all those stops, and then doesn't make that much of new highs, but just stop hunts, right? That's what this candle is right here for the main part. And Bitcoin's making new lows again in pre-market. I do not trade Bitcoin. And yeah, that's about it. That's all I'm looking at right now. I want to see what the first half hour prints.
I took a short, Jill, on gold.
How did I know to go to gold over here? Yeah, good. Thanks for sharing, Tarek. Go ahead. What were you going to say about it?
Looking at it on the 4 hours, it might. This is how I got the idea. It might be just pulling back, and it rejected this zone, and it's pushing down again.
Yeah,
it might.
Yeah, it might, absolutely. And at the end of the day, we want to try to guess as to the direction. And I think your analysis is correct. Just look at the wicks, right? There's a wick into the zone. This is a big 4-hour fair value gap, right? From the close of this candle to the close of the third candle over here. Or it doesn't mean the close, but just onto the next candle. This is where the fair value gap was formed. And then we wicked into it a bunch of times. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 times that we wicked into it. But what I liked, as soon as I went to it from the open, right, we have an impulse move down. So let's draw it. There's the start of the impulse move. Excuse me. And there's the end of the impulse move. Well, it's not the end of the impulse move, but it's a swing low. Right? So draw it to the right. And from this point, it came very close to the 50. Right? It came very close and now printing new lows. So don't know where your stop is, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a retracement into this area again. As far as room to the left, there's some. We rejected up here. Right? So if you look at the wick over here, it did take out some liquidity over here. Now we're making new lows. So don't know where your target is. There's yesterday low. We broke down below it in pre-market.
Yeah, I'm looking at the at least like 43, 44. Maybe if it keeps going, 43, 40.
Yeah, right above yesterday low that we've got over here. We touched it a bunch of times this morning and then bought from there. But it's definitely going in your direction right now. So awesome. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would, and you're I think you said 44 area. This is where we touched and then started buying. It did print a fair value gap over here, but it disappeared because we filled it. Right over here was a gap, and then we came and filled it and chopped around in this area. And so if it can break down below this and then retest them from here again for the further move down, that'd be great. That'd be a nice big move. Yeah, so see how we pull down. Now we're just chopping around this area, right? The big positions are deciding on which way this is going to go. Do we still have sellers in the market, or are the bigger fellas thinking that this is at a discount now and this is going to go higher. I wanted to look at NVIDIA on the 5-minute here. Yeah, so NVIDIA gapped up, rejected, but seems to be holding strong. I would not be surprised to see this gap fill before the continuation up. But nobody knows for sure. INTC, yesterday, Evo took a nice trade on this. Right, it's just chopping around that area from yesterday still. Take away that drawing now. But that was the perfect example. Big impulse move up, retrace 50%, continuation. But could not make a new high until this morning, right? Yeah, I just gapped and made a new high. AMD's gapping down. I want to look at Tesla. Tesla, big, massive candles. For my style, this is impossible to trade. For scalpers, this is fantastic. If you can read the direction properly. Most recently, the sellers are in charge. So that's why I'm drawing a fib from the top, right? The most recent impulse move is lower with some big gaps over here. But I would need to do a little bit of higher time frame analysis. And we are definitely at an area of possible support. Right? So taking it short from here with a level here and then a level in this zone, if you can get the 3R the way that I trade, it could be possible. There we go. I'd like to see a punch, right? Big impulse move higher. Like this, right? Show me a big fair value gap. Show me that we're scaring out the shorts. And with that move over here, I'm assuming similar action in MES. And there it is. Right, we're just punching up above yesterday's high. First 15-minute candle is closed. And don't hesitate, if there's anybody new in here, don't hesitate to come on the mic. You can interrupt me at any time. There was my alert at yesterday's high on MES. So it definitely seems like the bulls are in charge right now. All right. At what you would think might be resistance, we've got a nice big green candle, 2 of them, well, 3 of them really. Right, the first 3 5-minute candles are just really, sorry, the last 3. The first 5-minute candle was very big indecision candle, but then since then we're showing some buying. The way that I would draw fibs on this is that I would start at the most recent move before we saw a big pullback. We could start it over here, but honestly, I prefer to start it right around here. And I don't know where to stop it because we're not pulling back yet. So if anybody had an entry on this, good for you. Is it affecting gold? Yes, it is. Right. So there you go. Those fibs are no longer necessary because they're proven wrong. MCL dropping. So at least we're seeing the reverse correlation between MCL and the rest of the market. And we can look back and see, where are we going? Oh, I'm going to put a level right here. Well, there is this choppy area here from Friday. Right? And right from this level, let me zoom in. Right from this level, there would be a lot of stops above here because it is the most recent from that Friday drop. We pulled back, and then from there, it just went down. There's a little bit of a pullback here that we took out already. So right in this area here might be an interesting level. Right? Might be an interesting target for somebody who's long from the open, or it could be an area where we could start pulling back. I was going to look at BE. Thank you for sharing. BE. BE is strong. Bloom Energy. This thing has been just over the last, 6 or 8 months has been strong, but then we've been seeing pullbacks. But I was reading something last night that was saying that this could break out, and it did. Right, so big breakout on Bloom Energy this morning. Don't know if anybody's trading that. MNQ. Somebody was asking yesterday about the limit order entry. This is one where I would possibly put a limit order entry with a stop probably below the 68 here, just to have it a little bit, because we're showing a lot of strength over here. I would not be surprised to see it pull back, and it correlates with another level, right? It correlates with yesterday's high. Don't really know where to stop it yet. So the high of this candle is 847, 846. So the high of the fib would be 847. There you go. And the low, I would put it at the beginning, at the wick of this candle over here. The low was 659.25. 659.25. There you go. Don't want it to happen too fast, but if we step down to the 50 area here, this might be something I'd be interested in. But if it's just one massive drop, I don't like it as much. MNQ. If I were to get into a limit buy, the stop, I would probably put below the 68 here because this is a very, very tight range. The entry would be at 753.25 or a bit higher. Right, 753.25 is 50%. Let's put the risk at 100 just to show how it would be possible to get in with $100 risk here. And because of the way that everything is priced, it would only be a 74.50 risk. And the other thing I would do is put in the long tool to see, can I get the 3R before getting to the high day? And the answer is no. right? I need to get above higher day. So you know what? Not an ideal setup yet. If it can make another new high and in the next 8 to 15 to 20 minutes, slowly pull back, then I might take it. ATR level 29,872. 872. Yeah, right over here. But we double the ATR on Friday, so can we do it on the other way? Maybe. Thank you for sharing that, Oliver. Do you mind sharing what tool you use? Do you have it on TradingView? Because this is a paper trade, and just for demonstration purposes, I will hit the buy here. Right, so it is a paper trade. Just to show, I've already said I am not taking this. We haven't put in the first half hour candle yet. The 3R, my 3R would have to be above the high day right now. We are approaching an area of possible resistance. So I don't think it's ideal for me to take it live. And I don't like that we're printing a very big red candle right now. There you go. So the entry is done. Stop is below here, below the close to the 70. Right? And I said I would not take it. Maybe I shouldn't have taken it because it just goes to show that it's not working right now. But let's see. Let's see. I've obviously said why I wouldn't take it. Adaptive ATR limits. Thank you for sharing. ATR out. Our buddy Bruz. So there's the ATR high right there. Another level that's interesting to have on the chart, just to eyeball it, especially if you're thinking about getting into a trade and you see that. There you go, I'm taking out there. Glad I didn't take it. It wasn't an ideal setup. If now that we've gone below it, what if we put the fibs just at the low of the day? Does the golden zone still look like it could work? Possibly. If this prints as a trendy kangaroo, as in a long wick and the body right at the top, it might give an entry for a long thesis. Yeah, even on the 2-minute, there's no way that this is showing that the buyers are still in control. Bloom Energy.
If you look at the MQK, it's
sorry, you broke up there. Which one?
The MQK is actually stronger than the rest. It's pretty much reversed all of Friday's move, almost all of.
Yeah. There was Friday. Let's take this and bring it up here. Yeah, did not give, there was no pullback right from the open on M2K. The break happened right at the open, right? Then you get onto a shorter time frame. The break was right here. Right, we broke out, did not give a possibility for an entry the way that I trade. So yeah, very strong. Tiny pullback here, tiny pullback in this area. This is a higher time frame level of possible resistance. Right, it was resistance right before the open on Friday. MIM, MNQ.
Home sales numbers in just a minute and change.
Yeah, thank you for sharing. Let's go back to over here. I don't know why this isn't loading automatically. I don't usually have to hit F5, but existing home sales. Not sure it's going to have much of an impact, but let's see. Curious to see how this candle closes here. Let's move this. I put that there before. Oops, wrong one. Over here. So from here to here. Okay, see you later, Will. Yeah, so now we are reversing in this area. Gold squeezed everybody out before reversing again. Don't want to sound like a broken record, but these candles here are why I do not trade the first half hour. There are plenty of other setups after 10 a.m. And honestly, most lately, after 10:30 a.m., after the IB, after the initial balance, the first hour, the first 2 30-minute candles have printed, you usually get a better sense of where the market is headed. And you don't have these massive candles. I mean, where the heck are you supposed to put a stop on something like this? So M2K. Right, it seems to be pulling back here, but you go long here if you're not already long, because this could be a potential area of resistance. So unless you found an entry possibly over here, right, on this pullback and then the break out of that pullback, that would have been a good entry on M2K. The MCL dropping still. So again, the most recent impulse move was selling, but it happened on the one candle, right over here. You'd have to move this right, pulled into the golden zone, and then started making new lows.
It's almost like it's pricing in this new SpaceX IPO or something.
I'm worried about what this SpaceX IPO is going to do to the market on Friday. is I'm reading a lot about it. I've been interested in SpaceX for years, as I'm sure a lot of people have, and it's being priced at insane values, and there's a lot of large players that are getting out of other positions to get into SpaceX. But I mean, I would like SpaceX, but there's no way I'm doing anything until they announce quarterly earnings, probably twice. So maybe by the end of 2026. But that's not for a trade. That's for a possible investment. It will definitely be interesting to watch on Friday. What's the ticker again? SPCX, I think. Yeah. Pre-IPO. So there's nothing there, but I'm going to keep it on screen here to look at this on Friday when it opens. I don't know if anybody's planning on getting involved in that IPO. Fibs on MCL looking good. That's what I had just printed right here. I don't know why I took them off, but the latest impulse move was lower. So started where the selling really started happening, right? We had two wicks down here, and then we broke down below it. So before this candle printed, this was the low right here. So from there, you extend right from, let's be as precise as possible. There we go. And then you look, are we retracing into the 50? The answer is yes. Is there an entry? Right. Is there an entry? Hard to take an entry on this. Right. The first real entry is down here. Right. Once we form a fair value gap over here, but that wasn't formed until this candle closed over here. Right. And it closed down here. So it's hard to find an entry on something like this. Unless you do the limit entry, right? Let's draw it again. Let's go back to the 5 and okay. And that's where the low was. I don't use this because I'm basically replaying. Right? I'm replaying to here. So this is what it looked like. You put a limit entry on one candle over here. For me, that's a no. And with my strategy here, it would have taken me out because it would have been very close to taking me out because my stop would be above the 61.8. Leave that. But you are correct that the fibs do look good on MCL. I mean, the other thing that keeps me out of it is that we've been going down since the close of yesterday. Right? What is the ATR? Do I have it on here? I do not. What was it called? AL. There you go. Let's put a star on it. There you go. And well, as far as ATR is concerned, we still have room. ATR high and the low is down here. This is a higher time frame level of possible support. Right around this area. I mean, the ultimate low is down here. So interesting levels. Gonna check this out. So the most recent move is selling. We started selling up here. Started buying at this wick over here. Right, so for a continuation low, there might be an entry in this area for the continuation low. But are all these people wrong? Right? It's been trending up. Do I really want to take a short? I mean, the way that I do it, I can take a short in an uptrend because I'm only aiming for 3R. Right, that would be the short. That would be the stop. 3.95 or 4R over here. So you know what? I'll put an alert here. Right, there was room to the left before the move started. Right, at the beginning of the move. That's the way I look at it. Right, there's room to the left. So this was rejected. But on the way down, there was no room to the left. And all these levels are potential support. MES, yeah, made it above. To me, this is looking like a pullback or a continuation long. Not as much on MNQ, but on MES. Look at the room to the left, making new highs, pulling back, possibly finding support at pre-market high. Right, for continuation higher, maybe. MGC starting to calm down with those massive candles. MCL, right, possible double bottom. M2K, bit of a pullback. Set a level there. What will it do with this level? Give an entry to the bulls for continuation higher. Maybe. What's Apple doing with the developer conference? So yesterday, they must have announced something that people didn't like here. And this has been pulling back. I thought they were getting positive news at the WWDC, I think it's called. Yeah, I don't see any opportunities for the way that I trade. Wow, there's really gapping down now. So this is no longer pertinent. I would actually start it here. Oh, is there news? This was resistance. Then it went above, came right above it there. Will it be support? Hard to tell. Not much to look at today, folks. I don't know if there's any analysis on your side. M2K, so this level did not hold as support.
I took the short on M2K when it did its first 5-minute candle break.
Yep.
I'm just aiming for 2,900.
Nice. Yeah, in retrospect, this is my kangaroo tail setup here. The only thing I don't like is a little bit of a wick here, but the entry would have been on the break of that wick. So entry here, stop above the wick, and aim for 3. There's 3 right there, 2902. I don't know if that was your entry or close to it, but it's definitely showing some weakness now. Had trouble finding buyers up here.
Yeah, my entry was 2919.5.
19, yeah, so pretty much right there. So that was a great analysis. Do you trade the 5-minute or the 2 or?
In this case, it's the 5.
In the 5, yeah. So right there, that's the 2, but the 5 was very similar, right? You rejection, break of that low, and then you see a flush. Aggressive stop would have been right above the wick here, and right now we're at 3.58 R on that trade, and not showing a reversal right now. Not showing anything. Like they're all red 2-minute candle.
This is good enough. I think I'll take it off.
Yeah, that was your target, you know. What was the low of this candle? 2901. It's a big fair value gap here on the 5-minute, so this could be a retracement into this level for the continuation up. It's come back a little bit more than 50% from the open. Right, we're approaching the 70%. There you go. But on the 5, there's no reason to think that the buyers are stepping in right now. Nice trade. What time is it? 10:50. I'm going to hang out for another 15 minutes. Yeah. Wow, we're taking back all these gains from this morning. Just big V reversal at the highs over here. On 5-minute, this, for my trading, this did not give me an entry. You know, it'd be nice to go in here, but then your stop needs to be all the way here. Who would have thought that we'd retrace all this right now? Not me, anyway. Yesterday close, will that be support? Certainly doesn't look like it. Again, these candles, especially after 10, they look like they're news driven, but I can't see anything at least highlighted in red. Stop when attack we carried on around was prepared for a much more significant and heavy strike. Many months to return to normal energy flows. I mean, there could be some bad news on horizon.
For those that were in here earlier, you heard me talking about I took 2 hits in the live account. So I went ahead and swapped to one of my unpassed test accounts. You cool with me sharing my screen real quick? It's super quick and easy. So we were talking about how the 8 a.m. range of NQ this morning was in a 4-hour gap. And it was, kind of had me kind of watching both at the same time. Let's get my screen up here. So at the open, we pushed out, and like a lot of you probably watching for that pullback to the 50 hold and see what we do there, but we did not hold. Let's get the screen up real quick. Make sure we see it.
There we go.
You see it?
Yep.
All right.
So it's a little bit blurry. Usually it just takes a few seconds to start loading. I don't know if it's the problems on everybody's screen, but there you go. Now it's clear. So you've got the
this is NQ. Left side is currently zoomed into the 5-minute, and of course my execution window is the 1 minute over here. But as you can see at the open, we set our 15-minute. I've got it marked with this box up here. As we pull back in, we kind of, I've been talking a lot about, getting control through levels and accepting through levels. We don't really get that here. We sort of get that into the bottom, but, the bottom support, we push back up. We stay underneath it for a bit here. I almost wanted to take this trade here down, but this again would have been a preemptive entry, which is what got me smoked this morning very quickly twice. So, third time's a charm. We don't do that. It breaks the range. And I happen to notice at the same time, this dotted white line is the 50% of this 4-hour gap. So losing the 9 o'clock, 15-minute low correlates with, coming into this midline. So I waited an extra candle. I got one close below, which was nice volume on it. I wanted to see a resting candle here. We didn't. We threw a red candle. I still wanted to see a resting candle. And towards the end of this, I went ahead and took it, stop above the high. And this was 3 contracts right here. And being a test account, my max, I think my target is 4,500. So I always set, I have a bracket out, where the target's 2,500. And I mean, I wish all trades were like this. This is a 1 minute chart. We're in this trade for about, 52 seconds.
nice.
But you can see the power of this, right? We get the 2-bar close below that 4-hour gap, consequent encroachment. We get the rest candle that tries to go bullish and get smacked. The real conservative entry is the break of one of these 2 candles. And I mean, if you're not in a test account, you're in a live account. I mean, you can be holding. We took out these 2 VPOC areas of the last 2 days, which tried to, VPOCs are this close. They're trying to support, so you take some partials in here. This is the CP, this dotted blue line, lots of correlation here, quickly loses that. So where's our next target? Probably 182, which is, I think today's S3. And we are on, today's a unique day. We're on a narrow day. If all my stuff is correct, we're losing the CP. We came from, we weren't able to push R4. We lost R3. We're through the CP. So I would be curious to see if we make it to S3, what happens here? Do we show support or, on the daily? Let's, this is going to take too long, but I'll pull it up real quick. On the daily, I talked a lot about me trying to get my mind to look at higher time frame candles as if, I'm looking at a 5-minute and think of them that way. Same thing I just said here. I'm looking for a resting bar. We got this down. Of course, Friday was insane. I enjoyed my pool day, but it was a gas when I looked at the market at the end of the day. But we get this huge move. You got to have a rest day after that, which, you could call yesterday a rest day. So the potential is for us to come back down into here and retest this area. So, that's a huge move. So anywhere in there, but, very quickly. I have to do a better job early in the morning. Even when I have stuff going on, I can feel myself trying to push it a little bit. And that's what happened this morning. So, this is just further proof to myself that just wait. This trade took 54 seconds. I mean, get out of here. What am I doing?
What time? When was that minute?
This was the 10:12 and 10:13 on NQ.
Yeah, after 10. Yeah.
Yeah. After the first 30 minutes, I kept hearing, you say in the first 30 minutes, I was like, just don't force anything in that window. Cause I mean, you're right. And we discussed,
I've done it so many times that the candles are, they're massive. It's hard to figure out where to put a stop. You do not know who's in control. And so for me, it's just a decision I made. I think it was last week or the week before, I took a trade in the first half hour and I broke my rules, and it was, it's not worth it. There's so many other setups after 10 a.m. and often after 10:30 or 11, right? And you just proved right there, that was a massive move, or what was it, 2,500?
I got the profit was 2,500, but I got it set for it's right at 41.5 points.
Yeah,
55.
So that's 40, and by massive move, I meant as a profitable, and on this tiny little area. So
and the
explanation. Thank you.
No sweat. And one last thing before I go, a nice way I like to grade myself, because I'm trading these based off price action. I'm not measuring things out, but 2 to 1 is the low of this range. So, if this is not a test account, I've probably got my stop down here at the low of the range. So that's going to be even more than $2,500.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll partial in here somewhere, hindsight's whatever it is, but bigger picture right here. I've been talking about for a week with in my sessions and just when I'm on babbling, the 10 o'clock candle is the beginning of a 4-hour candle. So, those candles are huge. And if you look at the 4-hour on the left here, obviously we've got the downtrend. We've got this nice pullback. You look at the volume here on this candle is higher than this. So this is a little bit lower volume on the pullback. I mean, this throws a kangaroo tail that you talk about. I'll steal your term there. Little kangaroo tail 4-hour candle. So 10 o'clock opens, you pick your poison. You short, if you see something in here, I wasn't looking at it that way this morning. I was more zoomed in on this range. I find myself a lot of times getting sucked in too small, and it's been that way for 2.5 years now. So it's a constant struggle. But, if you find something towards the open of 10 o'clock, let's throw a vertical line here. Let's show you this real quick before I dip. So there's 10 o'clock, right? 10 o'clock opens here. It's just sideways. There's nothing to do here. But the moment you get something in here, if you're feeling froggy and you're right, from the open to the low of that candle is just it's a modest, 110 points. And the candle, and we're only still, we're still 26 minutes into the candle, for a 4-hour candle, you saw Avi pull it, dude. I have not got the chance to talk to Avi. That freaking trade on Friday is legendary. That shit needs to be in a book somewhere. I mean, he started out $200 risk, 2 contracts. And I don't even know the number he built up to on his ads. But I mean, the adding was amazing. The hold was amazing. That trade that's why we're in this Discord.
Yeah.
Is stuff like that. So I'll get off my soapbox. I'm gonna hang around for a bit, but I just wanted to share my little rebound there since I took my lumps.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. And I'm going to piggyback on what you're saying. Just drawing. I've often said that the 50% retracement. I think I'm sharing. The 50% retracement works on all time frames. So if the 4 hour is what you're looking at, let's go to the 4 hour. This was all time high, right? We're on the 4 hour time frame. All time high is where we have a swing high. So started there. And then on the Friday, this was a swing low. So that's all that is. Look at the 4 hour that you just traded. right? It came right into the 50% retracement and rejected. And from there has been pulling back. Now, where does it stop? Who knows? But if you're trading the 4-hour time frame, the 50% retracement here is a very good area to be gauging, to be looking at for the possibility of the continuation short. So, and Avi's trade was fantastic on Friday, but it was a no but. However, it was a trend day, so it just ended up being a phenomenal day to be able to add. Right? We haven't had a day like this in a while. So yeah, that was but I mean, he's got the experience to be able to add and to be able to hold, and so that was a phenomenal trade. So anyway, thanks for sharing that. I am going to remove my drawings here, and I'm going to reassess once I log off at 10:30. I'm going to see what where we are right now, and I mean the levels that I'd be interested in at this point. I may as well share. Let's take this out here. This level here is close to yesterday's low after market last night. So this could likely be an area of support. So that's where I'm going to be paying attention, is if we come into this level. As far as the top over here, I'm no longer interested in this area there. Actually, I should have just moved it up. Where I am interested is if we break the highs. So for my trading here, this is what I want to see. I want to see what happens when we hit these lows, if and when. And I'm going to do the same with MES and see where we could possibly find support. These are still very big 5-minute candles here, but from the tops to the low here, I would put a fib, and I would start, or I would put an alert right before retracing into this area. And that's where I'd start looking, as well as the bottom here. I might do the same on the others. And other than that, yeah, I'm just going to be, I mean, I missed the move here, the move lower, but it is possible to get into the reload. Right? Do we come back into this area? And again, it aligns with pre-market high. This was an area of resistance here. It's saying that this is pre-market high, and I get it because we just started buying right at the open here. But this level here, right, or this entire golden zone here, I want to see what will happen if and when we get back into this. So that's all and you know what? I'm going to be patient. I don't have to take a trade. We'll see what happens. And it is 10:30, so the room remains open. Hopefully this was beneficial, and I'll see you guys tomorrow. Thanks a lot for sharing, Brian. All right, have a good one, gang. Oh, do I see a hand? I don't know if that was meant, but if somebody has a question, please don't hesitate. I'm here from 9:30 to 10:30, and then after that, thank you, Sherry. After that, if you have questions, there's other people in the room. Please don't hesitate. Okay, cheers. Have a great day, everyone, and we'll see you tomorrow.